Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Mind Matters, a space where we talk honesty about mental health, self discovery, and the challenges we face every day. I'm your host, Gabriella, and today we'll be diving into something that affects millions of people every single year, the transitioning into college. Now, it's exciting, nerve wracking, and it's one of the biggest life shifts you'll ever experience, other than getting married and stuff like that, but it can also be a time where mental health gets tested the most. So, today we're going to explore the emotional ups and downs of moving into this new chapter, and I'll share some practical tools you can carry with you through this journey when you think about starting college. So, when you think about starting college, what's the first thing that comes to mind? For most people, it's exciting, new friends, new freedom, maybe even a fresh start. Maybe high school didn't go so well, or it really depends on the person. But often behind that excitement, it's often a real sense of fear, fear of the unknown, fear of failure, and a fear of not fitting in. Now, this transition is a developmental milestone. It's basically a point in life where everything changes at your once everything changes at once. Basically, your environment, your responsibilities, your support system. You're leaving behind a comfort zone you know for years. Whether we face that level of change, our brain reacts with stress. That's why feelings like homesickness, loneliness, even panic are completely normal. And it doesn't seem like you're weak. It doesn't mean you're weak or you're not ready. It just means you're human. I'm gonna give you a prime example. When I got to college, I was not ready at all for the studying and the academic stress that came with being a college student. In high school, you didn't really have to study unless you were one of those kids that wanted a 4.0 GPA, almost 5.0, and you studied every single night from the moment you got home to the moment you went to bed, kind of thing. Now, homesickness and loneliness, those things are a real thing. We're going to talk about homesickness first because it's so common but rarely discussed. Homesickness isn't just about missing your family, it's missing your routines, your old identity, your the people that get you without explanation. Now, studies show that there's a 70% chance of first year students that experience homesickness in some form. For me, it's definitely being farther than I would expect it. Now, I'm a travel bird, as I tell most people, meaning I don't really mind traveling back and forth from home. I don't mind going to and from places, whether that's train, plane, bus, you name it, I'll go. And the important thing is not to shame yourself for it. Instead, recognizing it as a sign that you value connection. And while you're at college, try creating small rituals that remind you of home, like calling a sibling every Sunday, cooking a favorite meal, or decorating your dorm with familiar things. These anchors can make a big difference. Now, if you live in a dorm where it's not much of a kitchenette where you can't really cook, definitely going out and doing something you would normally do, like if you were at home, like bowling or something that you find fun, definitely helps. Now, loneliness, this was a little more heavier. It's going to feel like there's no one here on campus that you can connect to. But if you try to surround yourself by people that understand what you're going through, they kind of can help you. Now, you my advice to you is to give yourself permission to be vulnerable. Most of the people that you are around are going to feel the same thing, but they're going to pretend that they're fine. And sometimes just admitting, "Hey, I'm having a hard time adjusting," opens the door for real connection. Now we're going to talk about the biggest thing that gets a lot of first years and even fourth years sometimes: academic stress. College feels like a pressure cooker, meaning you're suddenly competing with the people that are the most smartest folks on here, and it's very easy to feel like maybe I just don't belong. That feeling is natural. It's called imposter syndrome. A lot of first years will determine whether or not they will stick it out to the end, and if you don't, that's okay. It's always important to have a backup plan. Whether that means you go to trade school or you go to the military or maybe just get a job and just decide college is not for you. I always tell people college is for everyone. And the one thing that a lot of people get criticized for if they decide not to go to college is, well, you need that degree to get a job. Actually, you don't. Depending on what you're trying to be in life, you may or may not need a degree for it. Nowadays, they're mostly looking for trades. You don't need a degree to go into law enforcement, I believe. You don't need a degree to be a firefighter. You just have to pass a bunch of tests. You have to go to the academy. Yes, degrees get you farther, but they're much more harder to work for compared to a certificate. Now, back in my high school days, I had to prove to people, aka my principal, what I was going to do after high school. It was either college, military, work, or trade school. Now, trade school didn't cross my mind at that point because I had already had my foot set on going to college. What I didn't do was research on the stress of college. I didn't do research enough to actually know whether or not I was dead set on going because I just been told college is easy, college is fun. You get to party, you get to do whatever you want. When you get to college, it's like, oh my god, what's happening? It's too much, and it can get very overwhelming. And the thing is, that's when you need to build a support system. And no one thrives in college by themselves. If you ever meet a person that says, yeah, I made it through college alone, they're most likely lying to themselves and lying to you. Because there's no way they made it through 4 years of hell without somebody by their side. Now, here's the thing. Well, humans, we're wired for connection. Whether that's romantic, partnership, friendship, platonic, non-platonic, you name it. We're wired for that connection. We need that connection with people. Now, a lot of us are antisocial. I'm one of those people. Sometimes I prefer to be in my room than out and about. But you also can help. That can also help with mental health. So if you have someone that you can confide in, that you can talk to when things get a little too heavy, it doesn't have to be your parents. It doesn't have to be your roommate. It can be a friend that you met in class. It can be maybe a professor that you've gotten really close to and you are able to just talk to them about stuff that's stressing you out and can offer you guidance because sometimes older people have better wisdom. Or maybe it's a student health center on your campus that has like therapy or whatever. And, you seek out those sources. It's up to you. And it's very important. Now, I'm going to talk tips for a balanced routine. This is some of the stuff I should be doing, but I don't do, so don't judge me. Prioritize sleep. That's very important. It's very tempting to pull an all-nighter. But sleep will kind of impact your mood and memory. If you don't get enough sleep, you're going to be cranky, irritable. You're not going to remember a lot of stuff, and if you try to pull an all-nighter, basically going from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m., it's not going to work out for you. You're going to burn yourself out really quick. Another thing is move your body. Now, of course, our parents somehow, when they ask us, you're moving around a lot, if they have your location, you don't want to snap back, like, how do you think I'm getting to class, floating here? But if you move your body, meaning a 10-minute walk between classes, can help reduce your stress level as well. Meaning if you have a class all the way on the A side and you need to go all the way to the B side, and you're on the B side, that's a good 10-20-minute walk right there. Or even just going to get some coffee, even if you don't drink coffee. Creating a loose routine. College life can be hectic. It's sometimes you just forget to do the small things like eat, sleep, brush your hair, whatever, Having a routine set, like if you were at home, kind of helps get you in the right direction. Another thing that a lot of us college students that struggle with because we don't want to disappoint our friends is practice saying no. It's okay to say no. It's okay to skip a party. It's okay to skip an event. It's okay to skip a couple meetings or you're in a club because you're exhausted. Just say no. Let them know that, hey, I just won't be making it. Same thing if you're exhausted and you have to go to class. Just I'm not condoning skipping class, but if you just won't be able to sit through your class all day, just say, I'm not making it. Explain to certain people that, hey, this is not going to work today. I'm sorry. Check in with yourself. Sit down with yourself and try to ask, how am I doing today? How am I feeling? What do I need to do more of? What do I need to do less of? Do I need to talk to somebody? Is it getting too much? Do I need to consider going home? Am I cut out for this? Don't doubt yourself, but I want people to make sure they always have a backup plan. Always have plan B. If plan A was to go to college and you realize plan A ain't working, start coming up with that plan B. If plan B maybe is to go to trade school, okay, try to figure out what a good trade school is. Try to figure out what you want to do in the trades. Because trades do make a lot of money. Just sometimes a lot of people just don't want to do 4 years of school and instead do a few months of work and, there you go, get a job. And if you're listening right now, and you're struggling in this transition, just know you're not alone and you're not failing. Adjusting to college is like learning a new language. It takes time, patience, and practice. The hard moments won't last forever, and often the discomfort you feel now is shaping you into someone stronger, more adaptable, and more compassionate. Well, that's it for today's episode of My Manners. If this resonated with you, share it with a friend who might need that reminder that they're not alone in this transition. And remember, you deserve to thrive, not just survive in college. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, take care of your mind and take care of each other. I'm your host, Gabriella, and I'll see you on the flip side.